Hello beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Reverend Debbie here, hope you're all doing well. Today's video, why I'm endorsing Kamala Harris. Well, number one, it makes sense. Number two, she's a Democrat. And number three, she's a woman. And I'm a feminist. And I like her policies. If I was American, I would be voting for her. Now, I have been watching loads of footage on Trump's rallies, on Kamala's rallies, I watched the debate that Donald Trump thinks he won, which clearly he didn't. And she has some fabulous policies that she will be putting in place when she wins. And I'm saying when because I am optimistic that the women and the minority groups in America will see that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He has said in the past in one of his rallies that, don't worry, this time you'll have to vote, but you won't have to vote ever again. What does that mean? Think about it. It means that he'll probably take away the democratic right to vote. Now, one of the reasons that I endorse Kamala Harris is women's bodily autonomy and the overturning of the Roe versus Wade in America recently, where a lot of states have now certified that abortion is illegal. And that is wrong, because there are going to be so many women out there who don't want to have a child for whatever reason, and they won't be able to get that abortion. Now, Trump has said he wouldn't call for an outright ban on abortion, but he would call for withdrawing the pill mifepristone. I hope I pronounced that right. Mifepristone. And that is just sick, because it means that a woman who is raped and falls pregnant from that rapist may have to give birth to that child. As a woman, would you want to give birth to your rapist's child? I know I certainly wouldn't. Not a child that's conceived out of hatred and misogyny. So some of Trump's policies, I'm just going to go through some. I've not read through all of the policies, and a lot of this is from the Project 2025 documentation, which is a 900-page wish list, which was put together by the Heritage Foundation, which is a right-wing think tank. And Trump says he has nothing to do with it, but I can tell you now, Trump's supporters and followers have all been talking about Project 2025 for a very long time. What he wants to do, four main policy aims that I've pulled out here, is with the government, he wants to get rid of the entire federal bureaucracy and, for example, the Justice Department, and replace it with his own presidential people. So they will no longer be independent. They will no longer be external to the governmentary process. They will actually report into him. It's called unitary executive theory. And this allows the president to directly implement policies. So he doesn't have to go through the Senate. This doesn't have to be agreed on. This is something that he can do and sign, and that's it. Nobody else has a say. Also, will eliminate jobs of over 1,000 employees of the federal government. He claims that the FBI is a bloated, arrogant, increasingly lawless organization. I want to remind you that Trump himself is a criminal. We know he is. Not only that, but he is a traitor. He called for, in a roundabout way, the insurrection on January the 6th. His stance on abortion is that he wouldn't call for an outright ban. but he wants to withdraw the pill mifepristone, sorry about my pronunciation, which would stop pregnancy from happening. And I think it's similar to the morning after pill. Can you imagine if you were raped and you weren't allowed to get rid of this child, get rid of this fetus? It's not a human being. It's only a human being when it is born. Up until that point, it's not a human being. It is completely dependent on the mother, completely. Kamala has said that she understands that in the Project 2025, which is a document that Trump says he doesn't endorse. However, he knows what it is. And a lot of what he says does seem to come from that document. She says that if this goes ahead, women in America will be monitored for their pregnancies and miscarriages, therefore taking away a woman's autonomy, a woman's privacy. How many women are going to ignore this and are going to have illegal abortions? How many? And it will happen. It will happen. The 2025 document states it maintains a biblically based definition of marriage and family. Well, we don't live in the Bible. We live in the modern era, and not everybody believes in Christianity. And who is to say that the Bible is right, besides fundamental Christians? It's a storybook. It tells stories. It was written by male monks who were probably sexually frustrated at the time. And it has been changed and rewritten over the centuries. Now, those of you who watch my videos will know that there are a lot of incels and alpha males out there who want this, who want to have wives be homebodies, not work, and want them to raise the children and feed them and look after them. And I'm talking about feed the husband and look after the husband. Women don't want to do that anymore. That is why we are childless cat ladies. Taylor Swift endorses her. I endorse her. Immigration. He claims that he will dismantle the Department of Homeland Security, creating a much larger, broader policing, which he says will be the largest deportation program in American history. Now, I don't know if any of you have watched recently, but he has stated, and I'll link all the information that I've been studying about this and where I've received all of my information or found all of my information into the description box below, so you can go and look at it and see for yourself. But in his rally a couple of days ago, he stated that Haitians in Springfield, Ohio are eating cats and dogs and pets. And now apparently some are even cannibals. This is false. This is completely, totally false. That is not happening. He also said he would deport the Haitians to Venezuela. So much like the British government wanted to send migrants to Rwanda for processing, but we know they'd never come back. So he has this horrible intention with immigration. With the climate and the economy, he wants to slash federal money for research and investment in renewable energy. He wants to stop the war on oil and natural gas. Climate change is happening. We need to switch from oil and gas to wind, water, and sunlight. It is the only way forwards. We cannot carry on with the horrendous prices that we have to pay for our energy. This world, the children that come after us, they're the ones that are going to have to sort out this mess. And, you know, we've tried. My generation has tried. I'm Gen X, and we have tried to sort this out. But the powers that be don't want to listen, and the boomers are still in charge. Those are just 4 of the policies that he has in that proposal. Now, I'm not going to talk about any more because I would be here all day. Kamala says on the economy, she is going to invest in infrastructure and green energy. She's going to give mortgage assistance to first-time buyers and tax credit to parents of newborn children. Wonderful. Socialist policies. Sounds fair to me. On immigration, she wants to revive the Border Security Force and the bill and sign it into law, and states that there should be consequences for illegal crossing. That's fine. As I said, with abortion, she supports women's rights to abortion. And I think for myself, that would probably be the main reason that I would vote for Kamala, besides the fact that I'm a sensible person. And regarding NATO and Ukraine, now, we know that Donald Trump is in Putin's pocket, and he would probably stop sending aid to Ukraine and support Russia. Do we really want to go back to that? Do we really want 2 fascists in power of this world? She says she vows to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. And she wants America, not China, to win the competition for the 21st century. Now, there are loads of people who endorse Kamala Harris. I'm going to go through a list here. Taylor Swift, who brought out the childless cat lady image of her holding her cat. And then we had Stevie Nicks with her dog, but she hasn't said she would support Kamala. But she did, her photo was saying that also a childless dog lady. So here we go with the list of names of people who have endorsed Kamala. Taylor Swift, Martha Stewart, Pink, Mel Brooks, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, etc. Jacinda Ardern, she was the Prime Minister of New Zealand. In the UK, Jonathan Ashworth, Jill Biden, Chelsea Clinton, Brian Taylor Cohen, Stephen King. If ever there was a reason to vote for Kamala, listen to Stephen King. How many books has he written where he talks about the end of the world? And if Trump gets in, it will be the end of the world as we know it. A bit of REM there, but anyway. Other endorsements, and it says a long list. Jessica Alba, Jennifer Aniston, Christy Brinkley, Steve Buscemi, Linda Carter, John Cleese, George Clooney, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Cusack, Matt Damon, Robert De Niro, Katie Holmes, Alyssa Milano, Matthew Modine, Demi Moore, Julianne Moore, Lou Diamond Phillips, Molly Ringwald, Mark Ruffalo, Martin Sheen, John Stamos, Ben Stiller, Sharon Stone, George Takei, Uma Thurman, Sigourney Weaver, Reese Witherspoon. There are so many more names. I have just chosen the ones that are most famous to talk about in this video. But my friends in America, I have a lot of you over there, a lot of you view my videos, and I really thank you so much for that. Please subscribe if you can. Please don't let this despot, this fascist, get into power. It would be horrendous for the rest of the world. It really would. Trump is making a complete arse of himself at the moment. He is getting his words wrong. He waffles and rambles in his talks. He has this issue with the size of his audience. He is not getting the audiences that Kamala is getting. He says he is, but he's not. We've seen footage of people leaving halfway through his rambling speeches. Kamala goes on and she says it. She tells people what she's going to do. She doesn't ramble, she gives them points. And she is not going back. Donald Trump wants to take things back to the 50s. We're not in the 1950s. We're in the 2020s now. So, my American friends across the pond, remember, we are not going back, and vote for Kamala. Blessed be.